Your Excellencies, the Governor General, Your Excellency, sorry, Governor General Quentin Bryce and Mr. Michael Bryce. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I am happy to host tonight's dinner in honor of our dear friend of the Philippines and the Filipino people. Her Excellency Quentin Bryce, Governor General of the Commonwealth of Australia, as well as His Excellency Mr. Michael Bryce and the members of their delegation. Our ties of friendship were forged in the crucible of the Second World War, and since our independence for 66 years, the Philippines and Australia have built on our relations through regular exchanges and high-level visits, as well as through extensive engagements in defense, economic relations, and people-to-people exchanges, among others. Your Excellency's visit adds another feather to the cap of the decades-old relations between the Philippines and Australia. In particular, I would like to emphasize how Australia has been one of our long-standing partners in meeting our development challenges. In 2010, the Australian Agency for International Development was our largest development partner for grants, and it has generously provided assistance to key programs and projects of the government that are related to attaining the Millennium Development Goals. I would also like to express our confidence in the success of the 16th high-level consultations on development cooperation held in Canberra last month. This will provide our two countries with greater opportunities to work even more closely to ensure that our development priorities are met. I also wish to express once more the Philippines' deepest gratitude to Australia for coming to our aid in the aftermath of Typhoon Sendong, which devastated parts of our country, causing massive flooding and widespread destruction. Australia's generous donation of 6.3 million Australian dollars has gone a long way towards rebuilding the lives and communities of our countrymen who were affected by the disaster. The relations between Australia and Philippines have always been characterized by solidarity and mutual cooperation, a shared desire to work for the benefit of our peoples, and the readiness to lend a helping hand. As we look forward to stronger relations and more fruitful engagements in the years to come, allow me please to propose a toast. To the health, happiness, and prosperity of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, to the good health, happiness, and continued success of Her Excellency Governor General Quentin Bryce and His Excellency Mr. Michael Bryce, to the health and success of Her Excellency Prime Minister Julia Gillard, to the continued peace and prosperity of the Australian and Filipino peoples, and to the enduring friendship between the Philippines and Australia. We say here, mabuhay. Mabuhay is such a difficult word to translate.
Good evening, my friends. Your Excellency, Mr. President, Vice President, Senate President, Speaker, Foreign Affairs Secretary, Your Excellency, thank you for your warm words of welcome, Mr. President, and thank you for the hospitality you have given to Michael and me since our arrival yesterday. And we have had a wonderful, uplifting and inspiring day here today. I am proud to be the first Australian Governor-General to visit the Republic of the Philippines. Our countries have many special bonds. It is an honour for me tonight to bring the good wishes of the people of Australia to the people of the Philippines. This year marks the 66th anniversary of diplomatic relations between our two countries. We have forged a strong relationship across those years, one that has breadth and depth. Our partnership reaches back to World War II, when Australians fought and died alongside Filipino and United States personnel in the campaign for the liberation of the Philippines. More than 4,000 Royal Australian Navy, Australian Imperial Force and Royal Australian Air Force personnel participated in Allied land, sea and air operations across the archipelago. North of Manila, on the shores of Subic Bay, there is a poignant reminder of those brave servicemen and women who gave their lives in the name of peace. The Hell Ships Memorial pays tribute to over 1,000 Australians who died when the Japanese vessel transporting them was sunk off the north tip of Luzon. In a significant but different struggle, the Australian government and the wider Australian community supported the courageous actions taken by millions of extraordinary Filipinos in 1986. We saw housewives, priests, labourers, and young students reclaim their democracy in a dignified and peaceful campaign. Like many Australians at that time, I watched in admiration as the people power revolution unfolded, and as Corazon Aquino demonstrated to the world the courage and determination of the Filipino people. I spent some time in Manila and Cebu soon after those momentous days. Mr. President, I had the honour then to meet your mother, a truly remarkable woman. Her strength and dignity made a deep impression on me, as they did the world. At that time, I appreciated and enjoyed meeting women in leadership roles in business, professional, and community life. And in the years since, I have been privileged to meet with many Filipino women in Australia and to be enriched by their friendships. I see in them energy, enthusiasm, commitment to making a difference, and a true sense of family that I admire. Women who have accomplished so much in an unfamiliar environment. A new country far away from their native shores, with different cultures and social mores. They are shining examples of generosity and contribution at work and in their neighbourhoods. My friends, Australia welcomes the excellent state of our bilateral relations with the Philippines and celebrates its achievements. However, we both recognise that there is more we can do together by combining our efforts. Australia wishes to strengthen its close ties with the Philippines in regional and international fora, addressing issues such as economic integration, maritime security, disarmament, and climate change. Mr. President, Australia is the Philippines' largest bilateral grant aid donor. Working hand in hand with your government, we have aligned our aid program so that it tracks closely your administration's own priorities, a focus on infrastructure, economic governance, and poverty reduction. We are pleased that our assistance has helped improve the quality of schooling for some 2 million Filipino children. We enjoy close defence and security ties and look forward to realising the potential for them to grow further in the coming years. We are currently successfully cooperating in law enforcement, counter-terrorism, transport security, and border security. Mr. President, Australia supports and applauds your efforts to bring about positive change to the Philippines, including your determination to improve governance across the archipelago. This has given renewed hope to your fellow Filipinos for a better life. Australia also welcomes your administration's commitment to economic reform, which will do much to encourage the further expansion of our bilateral commercial ties. One of the keys to a strong bilateral relationship is healthy people-to-people links. We are fortunate in Australia to have a Filipino community now numbering well over 200,000 and growing. Your people have embraced our nation and are now valued citizens, adding their unique cultural strengths to our diverse society. Thousands of young Filipino students travel to Australia to study every year. Their efforts have the support of the Australian government. Last year alone, over 150 Filipinos were awarded postgraduate scholarships to study at Australian universities. I'd also like to acknowledge the growing community of Australians living and working in the Philippines. They include bishops, bankers, and charity workers. Their contribution to building links is as important as the Filipinos living and working in Australia. Both our countries can celebrate the young golfer Jason Day, an Australian of Filipino heritage, who last year performed so well at the Masters Championship and the US Open, or Miss Anne Curtis, who, having grown up in Australia, moved to the Philippines to become a well-known television and film actress. Mr. President, even in tragedy, our two countries are linked. As a country that understands the heartbreak and havoc of catastrophic natural disasters, Australia is committed to continue its work with our Philippine partners to build community resilience and preparedness. Our hearts went out to the Filipino people last December in the wake of the terrible tropical storm Sandog. My friends, this is clearly an exciting time in our bilateral relationship. We have achieved much together, but there is much more that can be done. We look forward to continuing our work with the Philippine government to deepen and further build on our accomplishments. Mr. President, we especially look forward to your visit to Australia later in the year. And now, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, may I invite you to raise your glasses in a toast to His Excellency President Benigno Aquino, to the health and prosperity of the Filipino people, and to the deepening friendship between Australia and the Philippines. Mr. President.